No. She loves the little um, sheepskin blanket that I've got over here, and then she likes the couch over there in the basement. But she hasn't been doing the perch for a while, so
Weird.
having her in here is a nice little treat.
Yeah.
Nice little treat. Oh, I also don't have my
I like it too. Makes me warm and fuzzy in my pants. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it. To it.
Okay.
This is a thing I can close. There we go. All right. We now will proceed with all haste. Create a podcatchery. Let's see. Okay, we're recording. Here we go. It starts in Tres, Dos, Uno. Coming up on TMS. What is down, dummy?
Oh, I was wondering what that said. Gator pants on the loose.
What it down, dummy? What did I write there?
What it down. Write it down, dummy.
Oh, write it down, dummy.
Gator pants still on the loose.
Someone has to eat the brush.
Please take me to jail now.
McDonald's is going to get weird.
Therapy Thursday and more on this episode of The Morning Stream.
Simple the internet isn't, but using it can be rather easy. In some ways, it's a lot like your car. You don't have to know how every single part works in order to drive to some wonderful places.
All right, you've had your little joke. Now tell us about it.
The Morning Stream. That's my safety word.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Morning Stream for May 9th, 2019. I am Scott. He is Brian.
Well, hello.
Are you looking forward to 9/9/19? That'll be a fun date.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
I kind of am.
You are Joe Numbers.
I
Joe
like
Numerology.
I like it when numbers do patterns. There's something about it that tweaks my
comfort.
Yeah. Like there's a when Skyrim was released in 2011, it was released on 11/11/2011.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, man, way to go, guys. You picked the perfect date to do a thing. You know? Because you weren't going to have another one of those for a while where it was all ones like that.
No, not for 1,000 years. Or no, 100 years.
100 years, right? 100 years? Yeah.
100 years.
Right? Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. We won't even be here for the next one.
No, we won't.
We'll be dead.
I mean, not an 11/11/11/11, but
right. Oh yeah, like what would it be?
We've talked about this before. Like the next. So what is the next? Like, I mean, 9/19/19. Are you saying 9/9/19 or 9/9/19/19 is what you're excited for?
I'm excited for 9/9/19, which is September 9th, 2019.
But you're not excited for 9/19/19, so it's like 9/1/9/1/9/1/9.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, right. Yeah. That's that might be better. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah. And if we had a 19th,
you would have been so focused on 9/19 that day would have snuck up on you, and then it would have been like a magical thing. Like, oh my God, I thought 9/9/19 was amazing. What about 9/19/19?
Well, Drenched Wildfire figured it out. So it's 3/3/33. 4/4/44 and 5/5/55. And now that you think about it, it's easy to see the pattern. But look how far ahead all that is. That's a long time from now.
We have 2/2/22 first. We have February 2nd.
Oh,
actually, we have
2/2/22.
February 22nd.
Right.
And February 2nd. Like we have two in February in 2022.
And we'll be here for that, right?
We'll be here for that. We should be here for that. We should be anticipating either the next Avatar movie or the next Star Wars movie. I can't remember from that list.
I think it's
which
both.
one we should be anticipating.
A little bit of both probably is going on there. Did you see that nice thing that James Cameron did this morning? Did you see that tweet?
That was really cool. Yeah, the little Avengers sinking the Titanic.
Yeah, it kind of goes counter to what I had always heard about James Cameron and his ego. It's I don't know if it's just his
Well,
people doing it, and he just
could
said,
have just been one of his people. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I
Yep.
mean, he might be just sitting there fuming like, yeah, freaking Hawkeye, freaking Black Widow, and freaking Thanos.
he's specifically mad at characters in the story.
Meanwhile, somebody in his art department is working on an Avatar one of these where like, Thor and Scarlet Witch have a big blue Avatar dude roasting on a spit or something.
Oh yeah, they could really poke fun if they wanted in their Avatar business.
They could have let's see, Nebula.
Mhm.
Who else is blue? Thanos is supposed to be blue, but he's kind of purple.
Yeah, is he?
Or is he supposed to be purple and he's kind of blue? I can't remember what it is.
Actually, I don't know. Now that you say that, in the comics, it's a little bit different. It's not the same hue as they went with.
He's
in the movie.
different. Yeah, exactly.
It's more
I think
pink purple in the comics, as I recall.
Right.
But as you can see here, folks, it's this great little. I put it up on the screen so they can see it. It says, and it's showing a giant Avengers logo in the water, upending the Titanic, the actual ship of the Titanic. So it's this very visual thing, and it says, to Kevin and everybody at Marvel, an iceberg sank the real Titanic. It took the Avengers to sink my Titanic. Everyone here at Lightstorm Entertainment salutes your amazing achievement. You've shown that the movie industry is not only alive and well, but it's bigger than ever, Jim Cameron. So there you go. Only his friends call him Jim. Everyone else, you only call him James if you're in a formal setting. You call him Jim if you're his buddy, I think.
Good old Jim. Jim Cameron.
Jimmy Cameron. Anyway, good job. That's cool. I thought it was just
That was cool.
Nice gesture. Even if he didn't write it, it's still like a thing that I like. I like when that sort of stuff happens. Like when a big video game release happens and a bunch of other dev teams do tweets about big support for somebody's big launch. Congratulations on your all your wins, God of War or whatever it is. Like I like that. There needs to be more.
It's kind of fun seeing that sort of thing. It's almost like the that was the one thing when I used to get the Hollywood Reporter magazine, the actual physical magazine. That was always one of the fun things. Is you'd see the full page ads that some agency would take out to congratulate one of their actors for getting an Oscar or an Emmy or something like that. And it was always really cool. It's like,
gives me hope.
Yeah.
In humanity.
I
Also,
want to congratulate Scoot McNairy on playing yet another racist.
if you
Harvey Weinstein Company thinks.
Oh my gosh. I have this driest throat today. Not sick or anything, just dry. I think I got the allergies. The allergies are coming.
Yeah. Well, if you're allergic to snow, you'd be sneezing up a storm here in Colorado because
What?
we've got about an inch of snow on the ground.
What? How is that
2
even a
inches
thing?
maybe. I don't know. It's May, and somebody forgot to look at a calendar up there and say, "Oh, I guess maybe we should turn off the snow."
Oh. Yeah, I was going to say about that. We're having really nice weather, but it makes me nervous now. Maybe that's coming our way because we're just on the other side here. We usually share this mess.
Usually you get it first, don't you? Or is it? I guess
Depends.
sometimes it goes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes this way.
If it goes west, we get it. If it goes east, you get it. One way or the other, the Rocky Mountains are our curse and our blessing at the same time.
Something like that.
Something like that. Hey, if you went and looked at the last 50 years of filmmakers,
Sure.
I would put James Cameron up there with Spielberg, Lucas, Scorsese. That'd be a fun list, but I think Jim Cameron deserves to be there, don't you think? He should totally be on that list.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, let's see, like
Aliens.
Michael Bay,
I don't
Peter
know.
Jackson.
I don't know if I'd put Michael Bay up there.
Well, all right, maybe not in terms of quality, but in terms of money-making ability.
Oh yeah. If we're talking just money,
Yeah.
then yeah, he goes up there. But if I'm saying like
right.
stuff that's like impactful and
Yes.
informative and
Spielberg at the top of the list. Cameron, Tim Burton.
yeah, I'd put Burton up there.
You gotta say George Lucas. You gotta say Ridley Scott.
Yeah, Ridley Scott, good one. Who else? Was it?
Zemeckis.
Oh yeah, Zemeckis. It totally was Zemeckis.
Yeah, Ron Howard for that matter.
Yeah, I'd put Ron Howard. I'd put Opie in there. That'd be a good list. And then we should all go watch their movies.
Oh, Tarantino. Yeah, good. Exactly. It's like you look at filmmakers, directors that have had the most impact on us in our formative years.
Yeah.
I think you'd have a good list with that.
If Michael Bay would have stopped with The Rock, Then we would have maybe put him up there. 'Cause that movie's great.
Brad Bird? Would you put Brad Bird up there?
Womack. I would put Brad Bird up
Shyamalan?
there, maybe. Shyamalan, maybe.
Maybe. Maybe if there wasn't such a period of Shyamalan that was not so good. Did you see any of the what was it? I know you finally did see not Glass. Glass is the most recent one.
No, I haven't seen Glass or the one before that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
The one
For whatever reason,
the
it's
McAvoy.
just haven't.
All right.
done it.
Well, it's time to have a little movie night. Number one, you need to finally see. Let's break down, Scott, and finally see Thor: The Dark World,
Okay.
because
Now it matters.
it's now a relevant movie.
Yeah, matters now. Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, now a relevant movie.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think you'd like it too.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
I mean, his buddies, Paul Rudd is great, and his buddies are great.
Yeah, there's
his
nothing wrong with
buddies
them.
are the best.
Yeah, he's great. I love him. Nothing wrong with Paul Rudd. All right, well then, I mean, it's on Netflix. I have no excuse. I just need to watch.
You have
the damn
no
thing.
excuse, and you still haven't seen Captain Marvel, right?
No. For all I know, that. So let me ask you this.
Jeez. All right. You better watch all three of these before you watch Waterworld again. Or Fury Road. Before before another viewing of Waterworld or Fury Road, your homework is to see all three of those movies again.
You know me pretty well, I think, because this is exactly what I do. I get I know that there's new stuff for me to consume, and then I go, but what about 8 old episodes of Seinfeld, and then another viewing of Fury Road, and then what about, I go back. I don't know why.
Exactly.
Let's do it every time. Catherine Bigelow, maybe. I mean, she was married to James Cameron, but her movies are pretty rad. I don't know if she's had the cultural impact, though, that some of these names have. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry. That was a fun little detour that I had not planned.
Yeah.
So instead, I was going to tell you about this dumb thing that happened to me last night. About 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, I wake up with a great idea. It was a great... And I couldn't even tell you what it was. It may have been a comic. It may have been an idea for a story or something. It may have been some podcast idea.
An idea for a tweet. A
Yeah.
real zinger of a tweet.
Just the hottest of hot takes. Who knows, right?
Sure.
But I don't have any recollection of it. And it's because I didn't write it down. What is wrong with me? I know this. I said to myself as I was laying there, I went, oh, that's good. I got to remember that. So remember this. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. And then I fell asleep again. And then I woke up this morning and went, all right, what was that idea? No idea. I have no idea. It's gone. It's gone. So I'm curious if, we'll see what the chat says, but do you ever have this, and what do? You just write it down like you're supposed to, or what do you do if you have a great idea in the night? Or do you ever have great ideas
Same
in the
thing.
night?
I don't have a notepad and pen next to my bed, and I really should for that exact reason.
Yeah.
Because that's also a thing that'll help you if you can't sleep because you're too busy thinking about what needs to get done the next day.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, just wake up enough to write it down. You get it out of your head, and you can say, okay, I'll look at this list in the morning, and then I'll deal with stuff.
Well, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
Oh, God, really? That's like...
Because I have racy mind McGee at night. So
Yes, and that's the problem. That's how you prevent racy mind McGee, is you just write down the things that you're supposed to remember, and it's like, oh, okay, easy, done.
Well, the chat room's like, use your phone and dictate it. Yeah, but my wife's trying to sleep.
Yeah. Hey Siri,
Siri.
remind me at 8 a.m. that I need to produce an ad for Orange Theory Fitness and then another one for the Holiday Inn Express in Palm Springs, Florida.
Hey Siri. I've got this great joke, this great dad joke I'd like to write down. Could you write that down for me?
And have my wife go.
We can only talk to Siri in that character that Will Ferrell created on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, wait, his Harry Carey? Was that the one?
It's almost Harry Carey. Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was Harry Carey that he was doing.
That is Harry Carey. Yeah.
Or it's
There was also there was a character he did that was like a life model, like a guy who goes in for to be sketched. Just this really gross dude who's Tim Calhoun. No, Tim Calhoun wasn't that the
He was the guy in the hot tub, right? With the white.
Tim Calhoun was the Will Forte character.
Oh, I forget.
Just really low talker in the microphone, but really close in the microphone. Yeah, exactly. That's Tim Calhoun.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So I can't yell into it. So my other option is write it down or type it in. Probably just lazy, man. I was so tired last night. I can't do this now. My brain will retain it. This will surely not be a problem.
Nope, never will. Whenever you say, I'll remember that, you never do.
Yeah.
That's like you'll remember that you were supposed to remember something, and then that's it.
Here's the other problem. Had I done it, I know in my heart of hearts that it was probably dumb, because nothing at 2:30 is good. You think it is, but it's usually stupid. Not always. There's some, but most of the time, a 2:30 thought is not as good as you think it was. So had I written it down, at the very least in the morning, I could have put my mind at ease and said, oh, look, it's dumb. I'm not going to do it. But sure glad I wrote it down so I don't have to think about it anymore. Instead, I'm obsessing about what I think is a great idea that's probably dumb. It's probably dumb. So I'll move on. I'm moving on, Brian. Moving on with my life. I'm going to put this behind me. Yep.
Just move on.
Rear view mirror, this thing. It's just a mirror. I'm going to adjust it a little bit, and I see myself in bed at 2:30, all sprawled out with my leg on top of Kim.
Watch it disappear in the rear view mirror, and you'll never see it again.
I'm going to let it go.
Yeah.
Don't need the snow anymore. Is that how that song goes? No, that's not how it works. All
Let it go. Don't need the snow anymore. Let it go. Let it go.
My favorite Simpsons character is Moe.
And I like Margaret Cho. I think that's it. I think that's totally it. Margaret
fantastic.
Cho never bothered me anyway.
Anyway, she kind of bothers me. I don't like her comedy. She's fine. She's just I don't know, something about her cadence that I can't.
She was she was one of the masked singers on the television show called The Masked Singer.
Ooh, tell me all of them. Was Donny Osmond in there or not? Because that was
Donny Osmond was the number one. Like, he was the winner, I think.
Okay.
Tommy Chong was in there. Ricky Lake.
Hold on, Tommy Chong of Cheech and Chong.
Tommy Chong. That's the one. Yes.
I thought he died. Why did I think that? I thought he died.
I don't know. Gosh.
I thought he had cancer or something.
The reports of Tommy Chong's death have been greatly exaggerated.
Maybe he recovered. Oh yeah, Tommy Chong is now cancer free. Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, he had the colorectal cancer is what he had there. And I'm using the wrong tone to describe this, but anyway. He says yeah, there he is. It says I'm cancer free thanks to a treatment. Oh, please tell me he's not pushing some kind of weird. Huh. Well, anyway. His doctors say that his cancer was caused by bad personal hygiene maintenance and let's see. Well, I can't read any of this. This is gross. They're showing pictures of somebody's cancer anus. I can't look at this. All right. Goodbye.
Cancer anus.
Cancer anus.
T-Pain. T-Pain was actually the winner. Donny Osmond was the runner-up as the peacock. But you also had your Joey Fatone, Rumor Willis, LaToya Jackson, Tori Spelling, Terry Bradshaw. It was a cavalcade of people, Scott.
Of used to be stars. Brian, we've talked about this before, like the Battle of the Network Stars. Is this the equivalent now, this sort of thing? Dancing?
Oh, God, it kind of is, except it's the anti-Battle of the Network Stars, because you don't know who the network stars are before they before they come out. And I don't know if I'd really say, like, any of these people are network stars. Tori Spelling probably the closest because she was on a TV show, but Antonio Brown, Terry Bradshaw, sports guys, T-Pain. I don't know if he's ever been on a network show.
Did T-Pain do what's it called? His thing.
I'm on a boat.
No, the thing he's famous for with his voice changing stuff. What's that called?
The auto-tune?
Auto-tune. Did he auto-tune anything? Because T-Pain does a lot of auto-tune.
Yeah, I don't know if he did any. I don't think he did any auto-tune. That would have been maybe too close.
Too obvious, yeah.
His all straight singing.
I could see that. Well, I didn't know he could sing. I thought all he did was auto-tune rap or something. Shows what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know shit.
I don't know. I stopped watching that show. Really, it wasn't the. Well, there was a lot of stuff that was irritating about that show, Scott.
Yeah.
But mostly it was the panelists, because it was Jenny McCarthy, Nicole Scherzinger, and Robin Thicke. as the three most annoying panelists ever, and Ken Jeong, who was the fourth, just wasn't. He was great, but
Right.
could not overcome the level of idiocy from the other three judges.
Yeah, he is great and would do better on his own probably than having to
At
deal
one
with those
point, I think
chuckleheads.
Jenny McCarthy. At one point, I think Jenny McCarthy was so oblivious to what was going on that she thought she was in the robot costume on stage.
Wow.
I think that's Jenny McCarthy. Oh no, wait, I'm Jenny McCarthy. Crap.
Did she ever say, I'm responsible for potentially thousands of deaths of children because they didn't
I
get...
think measles is in the robot costume.
yeah.
Ah, we've all got measles.
Now everyone has got measles. Big Pharma, gonna get you, yo. All right, well, that's a show I missed completely and probably am okay if I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, don't go back and watch the Hulu of that one.
I like Johnny. I like Donny Osmond, not for all the Utah connections and all that, but I like him.
Sure.
Generally speaking, I think that guy's got a cool voice, and he always has. Like, he's got a nice, cool voice.
And they called it puppy love.
Okay, some of that stuff sucked, but like in the Mulan movie, he's good in the
Oh, sure, okay. The Second Coming of Donny Osmond.
yeah,
Yes.
where he goes, what's the song? Make a Man Out of You or whatever it is. That's a
Yeah,
great
something
song.
like that. Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could listen to that right now. In fact, I won't.
And his face is very good at obscuring about 11 hotel rooms at the Flamingo Hotel in on the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah, I wonder if that is. Have they done anything there? Because the last time I stayed in the Flamingo, freaking dump, dude. It was bad.
No, it's what they've done there is made it worse by getting rid of the cool penguins that they had in the back
Great,
in that animal sanctuary in the back.
fantastic. Sounds like all that's keeping them afloat is Donnie and Marie.
And I think they're done. I think they're
Are they out now? That's it.
they're getting close to wrapping things up. Yeah.
She lives when she's not in Vegas and traveling. She lives in Orem, Utah, right up the road from my mother. And my mom has talked to her before at like a store or something like that. And apparently Marie, despite her ups and downs and her marriage troubles and all the issues she had a big fight with depression and some other stuff. Despite all of that, apparently she is just the most delightful neighbor you can have.
Oh,
Like,
I'm sure.
If she hears
I'm
you're
sure
sick,
she'd be-
she hears you're sick, she'll come up the road with a plate of cookies, come to your door and give you a plate of cookies if she hears you're not doing well or something. It's really nice.
I
It
had such a crush on her back in the old Donnie and Marie TV show days.
was impossible not to.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember the time where my crush crescendoed because they did a Star Wars spoof. Do you remember this?
I do remember the stars. Oh, and she wore the Princess Leia white, not the slave Leia outfit, but the Princess Leia.
You had the
White
buns,
outfit, didn't she?
and the buns on the
Yes,
side and all
yes.
that. Looked like
Yeah.
like classic Princess Leia when she used
And
her.
you're like, oh my God, you like Star Wars? I like Star Wars too.
Yeah. She's great. I like her a lot. Anyway, whatever. It's easy to make fun of the Osmonds. I think there's something there that should be admired.
Jimmy especially.
Jimmy Osmond. Oh my gosh, dude. Whatever happened to the Osmond brothers as a group? Are they still? I wonder what they're doing. Osmond, because they had a whole other band or a whole other act.
I'm just waiting for this to descend into how many of the Osmond brothers are dead.
Oh, that's a good question. We're gonna find out right now as I dig in here. Okay, here we go. Also known as the Osmond brothers. They're now called the Osmonds. That must mean that a girl got in.
Well, I think Marie is considered a member of the Osmond group.
Well,
if
they
not a
were,
member
but back in the 70s, it was just the Osmond brothers, and it was Alan, Wayne, Merrill, Jay, and Donnie. And now
not even Jimmy.
no. So
Jimmy was like the cousin Oliver of the Osmond brothers.
let's see what's going on now.
Man, there's a bunch of like 50-year-olds who are loving this discussion.
Oh man, they're so into it. Oh my gosh, they did a Christmas album in 2016. That's cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. They did a 50th anniversary reunion concert in 2008. So they're still around. None of them are dead. Good job, guys.
Wow.
Good job.
Wow.
Well done. No drugs, nothing weird. Nice guys. All right, let's do some news.
Please.
Brought to you
Yes.
by us here at the show, where we believe our journalistic integrity hinges on us making sure we deliver the news to you
true.
each and every day. So let's do it now.
As
This is
intact
your
as it
radio
ever,
newscast.
journalistic integrity, intact as it ever was.
There it
Sorry.
is.
This is your
Oh, you're
radio
all good.
newscaster with another exclusive, sensational summary of world and local events.
It's the news brought to you by.
Brought to you by Paul, who says, I will be participating in the Ride to Conquer Cancer, which is a 2-day bike ride over 200 kilometers. I am raising money for breast cancer research for my mother-in-law, who died from breast cancer in 2003. My goal is $2,500 this year. Please help me reach my goal by donating at tiny.cc/Paul G.
That's awesome. What a cool thing.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always like to hear when you guys are.
Look at us all riding our bikes for cancer and
Yeah.
for MS and
For
like,
good causes in general, yeah.
Exactly. Can't ride in the snow though, although I know if this is the same Paul I'm thinking of, he probably would.
Oh.
No, this Paul is over in New England, and he rides in the snow and he rides in the cold, and he's a crazy man.
Well, he's committed. See,
He's committed. I'm not. I guess I'm not committed. Is what you're saying.
you need to be committed.
I guess I don't love raising money for charity as much as everybody else does.
I guess Brian's okay if a bunch of people get cancer. I guess that's what he's saying.
I guess that is. By the way, if people, if I raise $500 by Sunday
Yeah.
at tiny.cc/bike Coverville,
Yeah.
I get a pair of really swanky bike MS socks
Oh.
in their delightful orange and blue colors.
Can we preview these at all? Is this a thing I can see?
I'm sure somewhere I can
right.
find the MS socks.
Put that in our Discord if you find it.
I will. Yes.
All right. While you're
Let's
looking
go ahead
that
and do the
up.
first story while exactly.
Yeah, good idea. A woman pulled a gator. A gator. You know what a gator
Gator.
is? It's like an alligator, but a
Yeah.
Yeah, you're familiar. Okay. Pulled a gator from her pants.
Is that a gator in your pants? Or are you just glad to see me?
Well, it was at a traffic stop. A sheriff's office dude, a sheriff's deputy, pulled this Florida woman over, and she had a small alligator in her yoga pants. I don't know why they have to tell us they're yoga pants. Could just be pants, but whatever. Is it because yoga pants are tighter or looser or
It's
have
because
more?
they stretch, right? Because you can't fit you can't fit a gator in like a pair of black skinny jeans. You've got to have like you got to have something that stretches that will allow the alligator to fit comfortably in the pants.
Yeah. What a weird thing that is to say out loud. But I think you're right. It says here, Charlotte County Sheriff's deputy stopped this lady. It was a pickup truck. She ran a stop sign. That was why. She's 22-year-old Michael Clemens. Hey, it's his passenger. I was thinking that was her name. Anyway, told him that he and his 25-year-old passenger, Ariel McCann Lee Query, doesn't sound like a real name. Excuse me, were collecting frogs and snakes under an overpass. He gave the deputy permission to. He said, "You can search our bags if you want. You can go through our truck." So the deputy did. He found 41 three-striped turtles in the woman's backpack. He said asked if she had anything else, and then she pulled a 1-foot gator out of her yoga pants.
So 1-foot gator, I guess that's not super big. Like, that's going to be, and then that's probably including the tail, right?
Yeah.
So that's like a little tiny baby gator.
Head to tail. Let's see. It's not very big.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't even bite her or anything. Charlotte County Sheriff put this up on Twitter, and they said not to be.
She pulled a big hard crock out of her pants.
That was a big, hard, throbbing crock. She. I regret nothing. She said the police actually put this up on Twitter. It says, quote, "Not to be outdone by Florida man, a Florida woman pulled an alligator out of her pants." The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission took over the investigation. So there's that. I mean, look, my wife's family's from Mississippi, and they would do weird stuff with like natural wildlife all the time. And not put it in their pants, but they would go and hunt turtles, or they would
frog gigging, right?
frog
They do
digging.
some gigging.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. Gigging, isn't it? Isn't it frog gigging?
Oh, I don't know if it's frog
With a
gigging.
G?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't
Frog
think I've ever
gigging.
heard that. I mean, the dumbest thing I ever did in Mississippi, I've told you this, I think, is I ran around on the beach at night on the coast there with bare feet, and was amazed at how the ground or the sand I was running on was lighting up blue as I landed on it. It was like a blue flash of light as I ran. Never seen anything like it. I thought I was in Magic Town. Just like bloop,
that's
bloop,
weird.
bloop, bloop, and it was going flare, flare, flare under my feet, creating these blue,
That's crazy.
Iridescent, like blue flashes. And the next day, I wake up and both of my feet are like 4 times their normal size and all red. And we're freaking out, like, what the crap? And it was, I have told the story before, but it turned out to be biting, some kind of biting jellyfish, and they were biting me with that blue flash. Yeah, they're stinging me. It just didn't hurt when I did it. But yeah, do not advise. Sidian's right. Do not walk barefoot on those beaches at night. I don't know if it's in the daytime too. I don't know, but man, that though, for like 4 days, my feet were all swollen. I couldn't wear normal shoes. It was the worst. It was terrible. Also, chiggers, and I want to make sure I pronounce that right. Chiggers are terrible. There's little bugs.
Yeah.
Get all up in your ankles and feet and shoes and stuff if you're walking the tall grass. And the same thing happens. Your feet just get gigantic and gross, and they hurt and they sting and they burn, and it's bad.
I mean, they're like ticks, aren't they? Or they're different from ticks?
Different from ticks, but
similar in
similar in annoyance. Yeah. In human irritation. Let's put it that way.
Cool. Oh, Essential Tremor just made a donation. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
That's very nice. Very nice.
Absolutely.
We're gonna cure cancer with these biking people.
Well, except for MS is what it is. Not cancer in my case.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. All right. Here's your next story here. Here's one for you. California dispatches a bunch of goats to eat the brush and prevent wildfires. You know the old phrase where he'd get up on camera, the old bear, and he'd go, "Only goats can prevent forest fires."
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, I remember that ad.
Those were
Smokey
hot.
the Goat.
Smokey the Goat.
Smokey Bear, right? It's not Smokey the Bear. I guess we figured this out too, is that it's both. That originally was Smokey Bear.
Yeah.
And then so many people called it Smokey the Bear that they just changed
switched.
the name and
Yeah.
said it's Smokey the Bear now.
It was basically the beginning of a Mandela effect, and then they just nipped it in the bud and said, "Let's just do what the people want."
Steered into the skid, basically.
Yeah.
Did they pull a goat out of their pants to eat all this the brush?
He went, "Bah!" Here you go, Larry. Go for it. No, this is what they did. California firefighters enlisted the help of some unusual allies to prevent more deadly wildfires from ripping across the state this year, and that is goats. Ventura County Fire Department is releasing hundreds of goats next week just north of Los Angeles to eat dead brush that could become fuel for fires. They're literally going to eat the flammable grass.
That's cool. Actually, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Says they'll eat until we like the way the landscape looks, and then we will move them to another area where they will eat some more. Says Captain Kevin Van Wig. Let's see who oversees the department's vegetation management program. He said in an interview they're very effective, these goats. The concept's not unique to the county, which has been using goats to trim vegetation for about 5 years. Departments across the state are doing the same as firefighters work to prevent deadly fires like the one that destroyed the town of Paradise in Northern California last November. That killed 85 people. So these goats are going to play an important role in that. I don't know why they didn't have the goats last year. Maybe they didn't. It just wasn't enough. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm not. Unlike some people in this world who have orange tans, I don't think I have the answer to all the science of what it takes to stop forest fires. And so maybe the goats aren't enough. I don't know.
Believe me, goats. Believe me,
goats. It's the only way to do it. Goats.
It's true. It's true.
Goats.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is great. Goats are happy. People are happy. Goats, they get food.
Yeah. And goats will eat anything, dude.
Win-win.
Yeah. And
as long as the goats don't spontaneously combust, then we're fine.
Yeah. Here's the part they got to remember.
Goat make you sneeze.
Goat make you sneeze. Don't forget that. Or that they sound like this sometimes. That's the actual goat making
That's a sound from the hills of California right now.
Yeah. Then we go, "Hey, Billy, did you finish that acre of grass?" All right, great. We're moving north.
We're moving you over. Nice.
Goats. You're a weird effing animal.
Yeah, really are.
Okay. This story we were supposed to do yesterday, we didn't do it. I think this is just great. I feel like this would be me if I was just like an alcoholic old cranky dude. I feel like I'd be like this because I have found, Brian, in the last, I don't know, couple years, and you've probably noticed it because you and I are on the air every day.
Yeah.
I have less and less poops to give.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm definitely getting to that point where I used to really over worry about something being set right or done right or perfect or blah, blah, blah. But now I'm just like, meh, like, it's fine, whatever. Or if I find out, and maybe it's even more in the last year or so, but even now, if I find out that I guess my triggers are are numbed. I don't trigger as much. I don't get pissed as much. I don't care as much. It's just like I care about what I care about, and that's it. I have friends I care about. I have co-hosts I care about. I have family I care about. I love my dogs. After that, I mean, who cares, right?
Right. I mean, it's a lot easier to say, that thing's bothering me. All right, I'm cutting that thing out of my life, or whatever. You know,
I actually generally
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I generally think it's been a good trajectory change for me, and I feel like this old guy is definitely there. Here's what he says. The headline says, "F it, I'm drunk. Take me to jail." This is what a Florida man said after crashing his lawnmower into a police car. Freaking Florida man.
Excellent. Is this not Tim Burton, a David Lynch film?
That's what it sounds like. Oh, I love that movie. It's so good.
Yeah.
On May 5th, one Florida man was charged with a DUI, or in this case, an LUI, after he allegedly drove his lawnmower into a police car while drunk. Now let's analyze that. LUI would be for what? Lawn mowing?
Lawn mowing under. It should be MUI, right? It should be a mowing under the influence.
Yes, they've got that wrong. They've done it wrong.
It's not lawn mowing under. Like, it's not lawnmower. Isn't all one word that you could say. Lawn mowing under the influence.
Yeah,
mowing under the influence.
CBS.local.com. You got it wrong.
I mean, you could do LMUI, but by this point, the joke is already so far gone.
It's needlessly verbose, right? Why would you want to do that?
Verbose. Yes, exactly.
According to Haines City Police, that's the home of underwear. That's the original place of underwear, Haines City Police. Anyway, an officer handling another incident outside a local business in Haines City in Central Florida heard a loud noise from outside of the store. When the officer went outside, he found Gary Anderson, age 68, from Landtronics. Just kidding.
Oh, Gary.
Oh, Gary. Gary, you drinking and mowing again, Gary? You dipshit, Gary. Oh, Gary.
Gary. Oh, Gary.
It was nice seeing Gary at the thing, but have I told you the funny story in Vegas about Gary? I got to tell you this story.
No, let's hear it.
He's not in the chat right now. He's probably helping somebody park at Disney.
He's helping park their Prius in lot B, in the Woody lot.
Yeah, getting the Woody lot going. So he's there, and we run into him in the hotel because he's down in the lobby while we're waiting in line for breakfast at the hash house, and Wendy and Misha are there, and me and Kim, and he comes down and he goes, I go, hey, we're getting breakfast, did you want to come in here and you can hang out with us if you want? He goes, oh, no, I'm doing this whole thing on a really strict budget this trip. I'm going to be real strict about it and this and that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I go, what brings you down to the lobby? Then he goes, well, I brought a bunch of boiled eggs with me. And I'm just trying to find some salt and pepper for my boiled eggs. So he was just down there looking for salt and pepper for his eggs.
Hauled a bunch of hard-boiled eggs from California. I love it.
I love it too.
You know what? It's how much? I mean, he probably saved a good $20 on breakfast there at the Hash House at Go-Go for sure.
Oh, that morning for sure he saved money. Like I cannot decry his thriftiness. Like I want to rejoice in it, but it's also just such a funny Gary thing. Plus, he's just so willing to tell you. He's just like, well, yeah. I mean, I'm just, I love a good boiled egg. He was just telling me about his boiled eggs, and it was really
By
funny.
the way, the McDonald's over there, if you order before 6 a.m., you get a free hash browns.
I mean, I think that's how he was living all weekend, which, again,
totally fine.
It's totally fine.
I hope I'm that thrifty. I should be that thrifty in my later years.
Oh, I absolutely hope I will be as well. At least I hope I don't know what I hope for when I'm his age. But you know what I hope? I hope that like Gary, I hope I'm hip and happening still. He's making it work. He's got a weird Hawaiian shirt on and a wacky hat, and his best Ibit.
Came and was like, he wasn't doing as much through the glass as some people were while we were trying to do our Overwatch commentating.
No, we're looking at you. Adam Christensen with his nipple.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, if you guys ever listen to the MacCast, okay, it's a show all about Mac and iOS and, for aficionados of Apple
everything
stuff.
Apple's doing. Yep.
Fantastic show's been around as long as we've been doing stuff. Just one of the stalwarts, one of the great guys ever. He's a listener of the show. He comes to all our stuff. I love Adam. I think he just got a couple of extra drinks in him or something. But next time you hear that show, go, oh, listen how, down to earth and sort of just matter of fact he is on the show. And then imagining him lifting up his shirt and pressing his nipple on the booth window.
On the glass, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Picture
Sorry,
that.
HyperX Esports.
Oh, yeah, don't tell the Jesus. Don't tell the Jesus.
Well, not tell the Jesus.
Yeah.
I need to reach out and email her and let her know that we had such a great time there. I honestly, I want to do that again as soon as possible. Like do an overpants and do commentating. That was such a fun time.
We could do this we could do this almost immediately right now. Like we could do some commentary and some tournament games without the space. Do the space again.
Right.
But let's do more of that because it's a blast. It's so much fun. Oh my gosh, Brian, we're going to do it. We're doing it, everybody. We're going to do it.
All right. We're doing it.
Bye. Hang up now. We're going away. Bye. We're going to go do a thing. Just kidding.
All right.
Not really. Anyway, so this guy, I mean, we will do those things, but we don't have to do them right now.
But not right now. We're kidding about the now part.
Yeah. When he admitted to hitting the car, he told the officers, F it, I'm drunk, take me to jail. He really just has no more poops to give.
Awesome.
He said his behavior shifted from being angry to joking multiple times that he had bloodshot eyes after he failed to complete any of the field sobriety tests. Anderson was arrested and charged with driving under the influence. So if you are on a riding mower and you're drunk, that's still considered driving under the influence, even though it sounds weird to say that about a mower.
I mean, you're operating a motorized vehicle, because even if you were doing a moped or a Segway or a smart car or something like that, I think you'd still be under the same. I mean, definitely a smart car, but I think you'd be under the same issue. I even think cycling under the influence is a bad offense.
Oh,
which is funny because you'd think that it's. I mean, okay, it's more dangerous than walking home from the bar.
Yeah,
but it's certainly you're not gonna. Here's where we're going to get the people saying, well, actually, Brian, I was going to say, you're not going to kill somebody on your bike, but you could make somebody swerve their car and kill somebody because they're trying to avoid a drunk bicyclist. So, yes, okay.
Well, I found I found something on it. You want to hear what this, how this works?
Sure.
It says it varies by state. A lot of states have different stuff for boats, a different standard for a car, different standard for bikes, that sort of thing. Motorcycles, maybe even more, but it says here, while bicycles may not pose the same threat as a motorized vehicle, drunk biking can have serious consequences, such as causing property damage, harm to self, and harm to others. Let's see. Bicycles and DUI laws. Here we go. In any case involving alleged drunk bicycling, the first place to go is the DWI law of that state. Some states include bicycles exclude them entirely from their definition of vehicles, while other states limit the application of their DUI and DWI laws to motor vehicles, but some states require bikes or have bikes in the same category. So you could be arrested and put in jail at the same level of severity as if it was a car if you are drunk biking. Because if you're drunk biking, there's all sorts of mayhem you can create.
Sure, but not as much mayhem as you could in a car.
Yes. It's just that some states are just like, we don't care. If you're driving anything under the influence, you're getting the full book thrown at you. But that's less states than most. Most states have.
I mean, if I'm drinking and I decide, all right, well, I'm not gonna take the car. I'll just ride my bike over to Rockabilly's, go see a band, have a few drinks, and I'm not gonna drive home.
Right.
But I'll ride my bike. I'm for sure taking bike pads. I'm not like driving on the street. I'm gonna basically ride home on the green belt along the river.
Well, that's because you're a reasonable human being with good ideas.
I'm a reasonable human being.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that you've proven what we've proven here today is that Brian should always be trusted.
Yes. Maybe I'll lift. Fine, I'll lift. Jeez.
Take
people.
a lift.
Get off my back.
Jeez, you guys, calm down. All right, here's my favorite story of the day, and I'm glad we got to it because this is good. McDonald's is confirming this. They're bringing all of its international hits to America. Because you know they have weird burgers in other places, right?
That's right. Yes.
So they're bringing it here. New items include the Stroopwafel McFlurry from the Netherlands.
Oh, that might get me to go to McDonald's. Holy crap. I love stroopwafels.
You want the Stroopwafel McFlurry from the Netherlands?
All right, keep going. Keep going.
The Grand McExtreme Burger from Spain.
Grand McExtreme bacon burger.
From Spain, yeah. Bacon. I forgot the bacon.
Yeah. Well, I can see why, because there's so much else going on at the beginning of that description. The Grand McExtreme.
Yeah.
Is it extreme? Is it grand? Why does it have to be both?
I know.
Like, oh, it's the 175% burger.
Yeah. It's a little extreme, honestly. If you're gonna find
what makes it grand and extreme?
Right. Well, let's see. Grand means it's huge. Extreme means it's like a skateboarder, like it's rad.
Like super sauce on there. It's hot and it's tangy and whatever.
Yeah, it's like
lights up your face.
You know what it is? It's like a Cadillac, a brand new, very expensive Cadillac being driven by Tony Hawk or something like that.
Right. I'm looking. I have to look here and see what. Are these not on here yet? Oh, they must not be on the menu yet.
No, not yet. They're coming though. How about this one? Tomato mozzarella chicken sandwich from Canada. That sounds all right.
Yeah,
I think I'd eat that.
A bruschetta burger.
Mm-hmm. And then cheesy bacon fries from Australia. Oh boy, what do we think of
Nobody
those?
told me that there were Marvel characters in the Happy Meals right now.
Shut up! Really? Is that true?
Yes.
Oh, of course. You had to figure somebody. One of the big chains would, but who was the question? I guess.
There's like a little Ronin and a little Hulk and a.
Get down to Mickey D's today.
That's Black Widow and.
Yeah.
And a very dead-eyed Thor, but they did get the pupil situation right with Thor.
Oh, good. Well, he's a little dead-eyed in this most recent thing.
Did you see this?
These look good.
Let's see if I can get that photo over to you. Or did you already find it?
No, I don't know. Of what? Of which? What am I looking for?
The Thor. Let's see. Hold on a second. Hold on. I got it coming. Here it is.
All right.
Right. Can I do it in here? Oh, I can't. I have to do it. All right. I got to do the hard drive, and then from there, once it's downloaded, then I can put it in Discord. And
because it's big, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's big. Exactly. All right, now look at that. Look at that business there in your Discord.
What do we got here? Let's see. I'm clicking. Oh, look at these.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
these are awesome.
Well, Ronan looks really cool, although he looks really surprised. They all look really surprised. But Thor looks like he's just completely confused as to why he's there.
Yeah, a little bit. You're not wrong on that. Let's see. These are kind of cool though. I kind of want these. Don't you sort of want these?
Too, but I do.
I think you should get these. That's what I think.
Well, and you can drive up to a McDonald's drive-through and buy the toys. Oh, did you not put them on the?
I'm trying to.
In the video. Okay. Settle down, people.
I'm working on it, you guys. Just hold on to your butts. I don't have everything in the right place. I'm getting there.
Yeah, you can drive up to the drive-through and actually just buy the kids' meal toys.
Yeah.
Starting Tuesday, April 23rd.
Oh, there's that McExtreme thing.
Oh, really? Is that on there? Where is that?
Gouda cheese. It's like the second or third down, the Spain one. That's a beautiful burger. Although these are never going to look this good. But
yeah, it's never going to look like that. Oh, look at that Stroopwafel McFlurry.
Yeah. And the cheesy bacon fries from Australia look real good.
Yeah, I'm bummed about the cheesy bacon fries from Australia because that doesn't say Australia to me. That they could easily say the cheesy bacon fries from Canada or the cheesy bacon fries from Texas or whatever.
Yeah, there's no distinguishing thing about
the beetroot burger because they have beetroot.
Yes, totally agree. Okay,
and I love.
There you go.
I don't know why, but I loved an Australian burger with beets.
Oh,
call me crazy.
Beets on a burger.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds all right. All right. I was backup vocals for Beats on a Burger for about 3 minutes.
Beats on the burger. Beats on the burger.
Beats on the burgers you got? We got a beat for every burger you got. Wiki. Anyway, look at that, you guys. Look at all those Marvel characters I've now put up on the stream.
Yeah.
See those? They look pretty good. Carol Danvers looks like she's just an annoyed sitcom character. I don't think she's...
She kind of does, exactly. Like, okay.
All right, you
kind of like Brie Larson. I'm over this.
I think of all of these, I want Ronan, Iron Man,
Yeah.
and just weird face Thor.
Yeah, what weird face Thor?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Well, I might try and go through the drive-through and see if I can buy any of these without buying actual food.
Hey, I have good news on that front. Do you want to hear my good news?
Yes,
So
tell me your good news.
For a whole, let's see, got to look at the dates. I think it was.
Ooh.
I think the date that I really was like, oh my gosh, I have to just like change my freaking ways, was on Sunday. So I've got a full. How many days of this? Almost a full 7 days. I did a weigh-in before I started and a weigh-in yesterday, and I am already 8 pounds down.
Nice.
In a week.
Very
Now
good.
that may seem unhealthy to some people that quickly, but there's always that initial blast of
There is, yes.
excess where it's just like out of there. And
I had that too, and yeah. And,
So
very good. Congratulations.
thank
That's
you.
awesome.
No soda, pop.
Yeah, that cutting out sody pop
Yeah, makes a huge difference.
makes a big difference. Yeah.
Maybe all the difference.
And bread is the toughest one.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that. I mean, basically I'm doing is counting calories again, and that worked for me last time. But so I'm not cutting breads out completely, but I'm just trying to be a little smarter about it.
So the artisan grilled chicken sandwich at McDonald's is only 8 points. That's a possibility.
That's not bad, and that's actually
Yeah.
a good. That's a decent sandwich. It's actually
It's a
pretty
decent sandwich,
Yeah.
yeah. But you can't do the fries with it is the problem.
good. Yeah, no fries. Avoid the fries. Avoid the Cokes.
Then I don't
hide
feel
your
like I'm
wife.
just driving up to get just a kid's meal toy.
Yeah.
I can like say, give me a grilled chicken sandwich and whatever Avengers you got.
Will you record that?
I'll be taking these here Huggies
Yeah.
and
You need to record that. Have your phone on and record that. Oh, I would laugh.
I think I will.
I would laugh so
I think
hard
I
if
will.
you did that. If you do that, we're playing it on the show, you guys.
All right, fair enough.
Possibly on TMSPM, but maybe not if there's not one. I don't know. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to get Wendy all up in it. We got an email from a listener that is needs some attention, so we're going to take care of that with Therapy Thursday coming right up after the break. Before that, though, a little song from Brian. What did you prepare today?
Yeah, I don't think for India in the Middle we've ever gone to Lithuania, but we're going to go to Lithuania today, to Kalvalai in Lithuania, for a band called The Skies, Skys. Their brand new album is called Automatic Minds. These guys definitely have Pink Floyd as an influence, a very prog rock kind of sound to them. So I know one person at least that I do podcasting with that's going to really like this. Prog rock, classic rock. Here are The Skies with the song Communication.
We'll be right back.
This is Tommy's room, and he's thinking about his room. Can you guess what he's thinking? Yes, that's what Tommy's thinking about. How neat and straight his whole room is. Tommy's thinking hard, because he hasn't done a thing to his room since he left for school this morning.
I don't know anything about women.
The Morning Stream. How about a booby?
All right, we're back, everybody. Welcome back.
All right.
Yeah. We're going to... Oh, I still have Marvel stuff in front of me. Here we go. I got to get Wendy in here. She is showing offline. That probably means I'm safe to pause and save, which I will do quickly here. And then let's see if she answers. Video people can just watch us be weird for the next couple minutes. Oh, I just got a message. Nope, that's from Dave. Okay.
Hi, Dave.
I have good news from Dave. He says, hey, Paul Stanley, listen, we've got an update on your free comic book day prints. So here's the deal. He's going to send me, if everybody out there signed up for your free comic book day prints from me and Carter in a couple weeks ago, or whatever it was, a week ago. And he informs me that they are now out for delivery today, meaning I'll have them today to sign. So Carter and I are going to sign those,
cool.
and then they're out the door pretty immediately after that.
What?
And,
You just didn't have your signature printed on them? You're actually going to manually sign them?
as is the tradition.
Scott?
It's the tradition since 2011. We sign them every time.
Really actually sign it?
Yep.
What?
You should see our wrists, man. They're just big,
I'm
bulging,
sure.
arthritic nightmares. So,
Big, heavy, throbbing, giant wrists.
that's right. So that's happening today. I don't know if we'll sign them today, but over the next few days, we'll get them all signed because there's thousands of them. And then we'll put them in envelopes and off they go.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
So if whoever in there in the chat, if you guys have been signing up for those or been collecting them all, those will be on their way to you.
Oh my God, Scott,
soon.
I'm $140 away from free socks.
What? Shut up.
Yeah, people have been making donations all during the show, and
How is this
I'm
even
only
possible?
140 away from MS Socks. Come on, people. MS Socks.
How is this even possible?
Tiny.cc/Bike Coverville. $5, $10, whatever. And I will wear the socks. I will put these socks on screen. I will wear them and on the stream for sure. Are you kidding me? Heck yeah. Plus the $500 also gets me early packet pickup, which is I don't want to wait in the free line again.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Early packet pickup is nice. So
How do you show your socks on the air? How would you do it? Just put your feet up.
we'd lower the desk,
Okay.
and I've got a stool
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
What I would do,
Show us that stool. A stool sample. I want to see a stool sample.
I'll stand up on the stool,
Oh, I like it.
and I'd pull up my pants and show up the socks.
Okay. All right.
You want to actually? I'll give you the real demonstration. Here's how
Okay.
I would do it.
Let's see it.
And we'll see what I'm wearing today. Super socks. Oh yeah, these are my. Let's see if this works.
Go for it.
All
Oh, yeah,
right.
look, it's lowering. Okay, I see it moving.
Okay.
Hey, your microphone's talking to your crotch. This is fantastic.
It is. Can you see? Is it high enough?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I can see the ends of it. So I can see the top of the socks with the 4 or 5 little Space
They're
Invaders.
Space Invaders. Yeah, these are my Space Invader socks.
But I can't see below that. So
Okay,
to
hold
see
on,
your
let's see.
toe and
Hold on.
everything, we'd have
Yep.
to. Yeah.
Hold on. All right, let's work this.
This is good. No, that's the way we're all ahead and we're
This
planned
is,
ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know if I can.
Oh, geez.
Oh,
No,
all right. Let's turn.
it's-
If I turn the mic a little bit.
Okay. Oh, now we told. Yep, full sockage. That's it.
Full sockage. Do you see? Even says Space Invaders on the bottom, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I can see the words.
Excellent.
I wasn't sure it said Space Invaders at first, but now that you said it, my brain made the connection. So we're good.
So, yes,
Is that a little step stool? Is that what I saw there?
it is. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
very nice.
It is from the fine folks at Rubbermaid. This is because when I'm standing.
Wait, you
I
don't
know,
stand. You don't stand on that all show.
No, I don't stand
Oh.
on it at all. I put my foot up there while I'm doing the show.
Okay. Yeah, the
Like
podcast.
basically,
I was gonna say the podcast listeners have no idea what we're doing right now.
yeah, I've got a padded mat on the floor,
Yeah.
and then but the stool in front of it. So like I alternate putting my feet
I love it.
up on the padded mat.
I love it. Oh, I see. Cause the step they say that's good.
Yeah, you wanna Captain Morgan your business, like while you're standing at a standing desk.
That's right. I have heard that before. All right. Well, that was perfect timing because Wendy's about ready now. That was perfect.
Good, excellent. And I
Yeah.
think there we go.
All right.
I really should just. I don't know why I have the my camera on like a swing arm
Mhm.
lamp. I really don't need it on a swing arm. It should just hang on the top of my
You could do
computer.
that.
It's silly.
I have
Yeah, I
mine
should
on
do
a
that.
stand, but it doesn't swing. I wish it swung, kind of.
It doesn't. There's no need for swinging.
There's no
for my-
there's no value in swinging. Is what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
There's no value in swinging.
Brian will never be a swinger. Wendy,
Oh, I don't know. There might be somebody who would disagree with me, our audience. I don't know.
there will be swinging. No judgment. You swing all you want,
Oh
folks.
God, no, not at all. As a
I don't
matter of fact, I told somebody recently that I'm impressed with people who are able to do that and have the self-confidence to do that.
Oh yeah, if you can. I mean, whatever you are, whatever you're doing, do it. Have a ball. Just make sure everyone around you is consenting, and you're good. I don't care.
Exactly.
Not hurting
Oh,
anyone.
even closer. We're 120 away from socks and early packet pickup, thanks to Zarek Envy.
Wow, that is fantastic.
Yes.
Let me tell Wendy we're ringing her. She says she's ready, but she may not be seeing the notification.
I shall try again. I will try and try until we have solved the mystery of why she's not answering the phone.
Oh, yeah. What did they name what did the new grandbaby get named from the?
It's called Archie McPhee. No, Archie Harrison. Archie Harrison, baby the fourth.
Archie Harrison. So it's like Archibald, sort of?
No, and that's the thing. They actually made sure to say that it's not short for Archibald.
Interesting.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Sorry, we were just talking about the royal family and what they name babies.
Archie Bunker, flippin' torch.
That's fantastic. Are you, Wendy, as someone who enjoys her time in London here and there, do you follow that? Do you care about the royal family and all the monarchy crap and all that?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I mean, I think it's... no. I mean, I think it's fine.
It's okay. It's a weird kind of fandom, but people have it. It's fine. Like, they can do whatever they want. But I don't really understand it because my sense is that it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's just a historical artifact. They don't govern, right? And they don't go, bring me 12 serfs so I may behead them in the Queen's castle today.
Don't they is there nothing that they actually decide that they
I don't think so. I mean, they meet with
I mean,
the
I
prime
think there's
minister.
a couple things. I mean, they have some influence, but it isn't. It's it's just the face of the country.
It doesn't. They don't get a vote in the.
Not
I
really.
don't think so.
No.
I think there's things like the Queen has like 12 hounds around her whenever she wants, or stuff like that. Like,
Well,
there's
sure.
lots of
Yeah.
cool benefits. But
Yeah,
not-
they.
not positive,
The
but-
Queen gets a vote on X Factor.
Yeah.
When, for the final episode.
That very well may be. And I know that they'll meet with the prime minister and they'll have some influence, but it's the same kind of influence like George Clooney would have here. You know what I mean? Like kind of a big name who can drum up a bunch of
want him to
support.
like what we're
George
doing.
Clooney.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, George Clooney is the king of America.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
He is king and sovereign
I know
over
you
all of
don't
us.
do a lot of terrestrial TV, but there's a new Nescafe commercial where he's a knight who leaves the screen kind of like the Purple Rose of Cairo
Oh, wow.
style.
Wow.
Leaves the screen and then goes out to find a Nescafe. But I'm pretty sure that the queen in that is Natalie Dormer from Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. I think I know the commercial, and I think that is correct.
Yeah.
Boy, she had a bad time. Unless you're caught up with that show, I guess that was a spoiler.
Yeah.
But
It's old enough that we can say she had a bad time.
yeah, it was a few seasons ago. Anyway, Wendy, it's good to have you here. It's my sister Wendy, everybody. She goes by the professional name Wendy Dunford, and she is a real therapist. She helps people with real problems all the time and comes on this show, lowers herself sufficiently, and helps us with our problems. And has been doing it since the beginning. It was the #1 segment that we started with. We had no other permanent segments except Wendy in the beginning. And here you are all these many months, episodes, and years later.
How'd I make it through the gauntlet of
I don't know.
whatever you want to call it?
17, look at this, 1,705 episodes. So if we figure one out of every one of those, that's a lot, dude. Like a lot.
Wow.
I don't know if you knew this, but we still record. I still segment out every segment you've ever done.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So whenever the time comes that you want to use that stuff for something, I got it all, man.
You've heard the things I've said.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no. There's some.
Can we burn it?
Can we zero out those hard drives? Yes, probably. But
Okay.
anyway.
Good to know.
So that's it. It's Therapy Thursday, and we're going to answer some questions. One in particular that we got via email. I was going to play like a clip from you. Oh, yeah, here we go.
Maybe you guys can clarify because you're cooler than me.
There you go. That's our intro for today.
That seems more reasonable than most things you have.
Well, we don't have any good Wendy songs. I imagine there's something we could probably rip out of a Bruce Springsteen tune, but
We probably could. We should get some kind of song going because otherwise it's stuff like this.
Don't wash your hands and sit here and stare at me.
Yeah, see, another weird one.
What we should do is a little segment of Frontier Therapist, or what's that song? It's like it's an electronica song.
Oh, is
that
it?
Boy needs
that
therapy.
boy needs therapy. 19. That boy needs therapy. Isn't that the 19 song?
No, two different songs.
Oh, I've mixed those up. Yeah, but you're right. That boy needs therapy. We're gonna
Frontier Psychiatrist. That's it. Frontier Psychiatrist. That boy needs therapy.
Maybe I'll go zero that out and then make a thing. All right. Well, this is all. Here we go. All these years later, we'll make an actual thing.
Entice YouTube with another cease and desist.
All right. Well, here goes. I'm going to read this here email, and we're going to get right into it. This is from somebody we're going to call CD. And the subject was Therapy Thursdays, and the message is, hi, Scott, Brian, and Wendy. For a good amount of time, I was working in a solid job with good pay, and I was able to support my family. About a year and a half ago, the bottom fell out of my industry, and I have had 8 jobs since then, which included moving my family from Florida to Maryland and then back. Ooh, that is rough. I mean, I know it's just East Coast down and up, but that's still a lot, dude. That's a lot. Anyway, the majority of these jobs have let me go for various reasons, although I did voluntarily leave 2 of them for ethical reasons. Just yesterday, I was let go only a day and a half because, I assume that means after he started, because the person who hired me did not understand my certification and was looking for a different certification, even though my current certification teaches the skill set required for the position of which I was hired. It sounds like IT because certifications that's a common term in IT work, yeah. Anyway, now I'm just a ball of anger. I cannot focus or have my mind calm enough to see anything in my future but failure. Some people are telling me to just take any job and feel productive, but I can't feel productive if I'm earning only 25% of what I was at my peak, and certainly not if it's not enough money to move out of my mother-in-law's house, that's an important note, I think. I know they mean well, but I almost feel insulted at the fact that I should work for so little when I was making enough to support my family only a year and a half ago. Or maybe I was overvalued and I'm not worth as much as I thought I was. In the back of my mind, I know there is good. I have a wife on my side and a family that has taken us in and is helping take care of our 2-year-old son. But on top of feeling so much anger and resentment about my employment, I also feel guilt for putting them out. All I want to do is yell and scream and ask what I did to deserve such horrible luck for such a long time. I feel absolutely worthless, and when my mind was in its darkest, I even considered suicide. I just want to know why wanting a stable, secure, and happy family is too much to ask. I guess what I need to know is, how do I move forward? I guess not being able to be as positive has resulted in not getting as much positivity back, but I feel that it's impossible to be positive. There is even a rational part of my mind that knows there is good, but it doesn't matter. I cannot focus past that. I would really appreciate any help to guide me past this. Thank you, CD. So bit of a crisis there in this person's life, and a rough one. I feel weirdly like Wendy and I can relate to it from a slightly removed position, watching our father go through a bunch of work-related financial disasters, kind of one after the other, in the mid to late 80s. And
the bottom fell out of the arcade industry kind of thing.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, lost the house, lost all whatever forms of cool things we thought were cool at the time, like boats and motorhomes and trips to Lake Powell, and the house itself and the business was gone, and him having to figure out a way to start over, and we were on assistance for a while and all that kind of stuff, and it was rough. Like, I still think it's the thing that makes me so cheap these days, because I just get real cheap about everything. Kim's like, I'm going to the Walmart. Do you need anything? No, and don't go crazy and buy a bunch of,
Buy nothing.
Yeah, buy nothing ever, spend never a dime, that sort of attitude.
But while you're gone, I'm going to have DoorDash deliver some McDonald's.
Well, if they have a deal going, maybe. But anyway, the point is, where do you want to start with this one, Wendy? Where do you want to go?
So first of all, this is legitimately so tough. Yeah. And I think, there's a few things you can't sort of overestimate the impact on people, and job insecurity, food insecurity, like sort of the very fundamentals of life, and job being the thing that provides a lot of those fundamentals of life. That kind of stress that is created from that kind of insecurity is sort of relentless, and not sort of, it is relentless. It has an impact on your health, your thinking, like he's describing, like he can't focus. He's in a state of, pretty intense distress. So, and then there's the vicious cycle, right? Like when you're feeling that way, and the thing you need to do is go find another job, which feels like completely futile because of the history here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on that it's just got to be maddening, right? So we're sorry, man. That sucks. It really, really, really sucks. And I think, everyone handles this kind of thing very differently. I mean, I think our dad one of the things, I mean, I think it's made me cheap too, but I think the other thing he did, which is miraculous, is sort of always maintained hope. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was weird.
He, instead of like not getting out of bed, he just would hypnotize himself or like drink wheatgrass juice or something.
Yeah.
Like,
You think Wendy's just saying stuff here, but it's actually true.
Yeah, literally.
He had this weird self-hypnosis thing he was way into that would calm him down and give him focus. And then he was really into eating wheatgrass all the time.
Yeah, like I think if he were alive now,
like eating it, not just having it like a smoothie or something, but just eating
it.
Yeah, he would grind it up, but he was growing it himself. He had like a whole planter.
We'd have all these plots of sod on the counter.
He's a walking Jamba Juice or something.
I always think if he were alive now and he could meet the biohackers of today, he'd be like, oh, these were my people. I just was born 30 years early, because I think he really worked hard to try to figure out how to, but he could maintain some hope. And I think that was a really great gift to give each of us. And I think it's a nearly impossible thing to do when you are feeling these ways. And so obviously this guy seems like he's, pretty motivated to figure it out. But when your brain is under this much distress, then that's why the thought of maybe ending it all makes sense. It starts to pop in your head of like, I have no other pathways forward. I don't know what else to do. And then also you have all these things that are sort of the opposite. Like my family cares about me. They want me here. They need me. I've got this 2-year-old son, and all that's ahead of him. Yeah. So, you're torn. It's exhausting. So what I'm going to suggest, and this is going to sound maybe a little bit off the wall here, because obviously it can't help you find a job. I'd love to, like, if you had written what you do, well, we would make some calls, let's find you a job. But sometimes that's just the reality of what you've got to figure out. But my suggestion here is about maybe a shift in story, because when I read this, I hear like legitimately a pretty rough story and things are happening to him. So what happens as humans? We like stories, and we really need to extract meaning from things in order to handle them. So trauma is one of those things that is a great example of this. The story behind why something happened is, and it can be a story you make up. Well, we make up most of the stories in our head anyway, right? But all of that really, really has a huge impact on the outcome. So I always sort of give the analogy, and I think I've told this on the show before. The PTSD rates after 9/11 for folks who were in New York City, who witnessed the towers falling, who were a part of various things, versus the rates in Louisiana after Katrina in a lot of the areas there. And it can't all be boiled down to this, but it has a lot to do with. So the meaning and the stories and all of the support and everything that sort of surrounded 9/11 and we will rebuild and we're in this together. And like you both remember the first time and maybe only time as an American, you felt like at one with everyone all at the same time. It was a pretty amazing experience. So you have really low rates of PTSD, really low for what people witnessed. I mean, there were classrooms full of kids in other buildings watching those buildings crash, watching, people jumping from the various floors. I mean, everyone should be pretty darn messed up. And not to say no one was, but the rates, at least in the studies that were done, are very low. Whereas you've got, 80 to 90% PTSD rates in certain wards in New Orleans after Katrina. And you think of the way that was handled, the difference. First of all, it was a natural disaster versus, the bad guys did this, so we have someone to rally against. There's inherent racist stuff going on in all of that. They were stuck in one place, and just the demoralizing, the reasoning, the power behind it, the story, all of that, you could almost say is the opposite.
Yeah.
And so you have this reaction that's very, very different. So that's just a really extreme example of story and meaning making going in a good direction after a tragedy and going in a really negative direction after a tragedy. And then the end result, if we sort of burrow it down into one person, is chronic effects from that level of stress and that kind of trauma, right? So take this guy. So his neighbor's got a job he goes to every day and he's kind of boring, blah. He cannot relate to this, right? So you feel really isolated. Now, when we have a recession or a depression, everyone's like kind of a little more in on it together because everyone's kind of worried about each other and that type of thing. But, it's got a booming economy. We need however many jobs and blah, blah, blah. And so to be feeling really like, what's the deal with me? Why isn't this working for me? What have I done wrong? He's kind of used some of those words. It means that the story he currently has is driving how he's feeling about all of this. So I'm going to throw this out to the two of you to mess with a little bit because I don't have him here. What's the story you would be telling yourself about this? And then just throw out a creative other potential meaning behind this experience for this guy.
So if it was me going through what he's going through, I mean, basically he's going through the thing that I actually fear a lot and have always feared. Even back when it was
not being able to support your family or having a struggle to support your family
or have it be so out of your control. Like he says, the industry bottomed out from the thing he is expert in and has certification in. If that's your whole focus, let's say I don't know, think of anybody who was kind of aged out of an industry because technology or something else took it away, or got so efficient that there was no need for it anymore. You were basically just obsoleted. That was always a paranoia thing for me when I was working more of a regular day job and not doing what I'm doing now. But even doing what I'm doing now, I still think about things like like what would happen if there was suddenly a worldwide economic crisis worse than like 2008. Suddenly what we do becomes less of a priority for people. That goes all the way from the top. Like every show I do, it goes from the top down. Like advertisers get tighter; they don't advertise as much. The actual product I create, and TMS would be this as well, is an entertainment product, and there's no shortage of that these days across all mediums. So when things go real sour, one of the first things people do is cut down on that sort of thing, which means suddenly that part of the industry is in peril and our little snippet of it is in peril. I think about that stuff a lot. Like, and the reason that that would be so frustrating is because it would be out of my control. It'd be one thing if I was terrible and sabotaged it. It's a whole nother thing when something craps out that had nothing to do with you. And that's really existential and bad to think too much about. So I'll answer Wendy's question by saying I've already felt that way before, but in my own catastrophizey sort of, everything worked out, but I was never sure it was going to kind of way.
Right. And he's living it.
Like he's actually in the middle of it. So I want to come to that with as much sensitivity as possible. But I would say if it were me, what I would hope I would do, what I fear I would do is different. You don't want that, right? You don't want me to tell you what I think I'd do.
Well, the story you just painted, your own story, is the story that it sounds like he's literally living through, right? Which is, it's just scary, and who knows, and what is he supposed to do now? And obviously he's working really hard. You don't have 8 jobs in the last year and a half unless you're constantly trying to find what you need to do, to take care of your family. Also, notably, he left 2 of them for ethical reasons. So, I think it's easier to keep a job if you have no ethics, right? Like, so he is
just
doing
put
the
those
best.
up on the shelf for a little bit and say, all right, fine, I'll be a cat euthanizer.
Right, exactly, right. So like he's got some honor here that, and he's going through all this stuff. So the current story, and you can hear it, what he says, and Scott, yours would be like, oh, panic, and we can all guess what your story might be about it, but like, no offense, but like his story is he's worried he's not worth what he thought he was. He's worried he's no good. I mean, this is so directly tied to him as a person. So someone else could come along and say, well, it's just your work that you do. This isn't your life.
Yeah.
So the story currently is, no, it's really, really tied to who I am. That's why I think he cares about ethical stuff. I mean, it's really connected. So the story is that this is an extension of him, if not him, that's being rejected over and over again.
Right.
Whereas your story about the apocalypse of whatever is that the whole system crashes and then you're at the bottom of the totem pole for people's needs. So your income stream is going to be diminished. Not that you fundamentally are a flawed person and can't draw or speak.
Right.
Funny,
Right. Like, or if some, and it could apply to just about anything. Like suddenly, I don't know. I remember back, I barely remember it because I was very young, but I remember when what's the old spreadsheet software that was like the first ever? I can't
Lotus
think.
1 2 3.
Lotus 1 2 3. So that comes out right very early.
Wow, that was a deep dig.
Yeah.
And but no, this is an applicable thing. The accounting industry panicked. Everybody went, "Oh my gosh, are you telling me that thing in 5 seconds, even on these old computers, in 5 seconds it can do what takes me a week to get done for my clients, and this will just do it then and then do that 1,000 times a day? I mean, I'm out. I'm done. There's no way that we don't just see the entire financial employment world just collapse and fall to its knees. The opposite happened, though. There wasn't a bunch. I mean, I'm sure there's anecdotal, there's always outliers, but the thing that happened on the Moore part was it increased jobs in that industry and in that work space like 100-fold, because now this afforded you the ability, this speed and this accuracy and this quickness afforded you the ability to go, oh, okay, well now we can expand our business in these 8 new directions because we don't have to worry about waiting a week for Bill to get his freaking ledger done. But nobody was thinking about that. They were all terrified. So even
you don't have any idea.
Yeah, my accountant tells me stories. He's like, yeah, we thought that was the harbinger of doom, and we were all screwed. And now we all look at it like, oh my gosh, if that hadn't happened, that was actually the real screw. Is not progressing. So it's entirely possible that. See, here's what I would do. So I mentioned all the panic I would have, but I would also, after the panic, I've always been able to do this. If there's panic, fine, I'll have it. But then there's, what am I going to do now? And then I do it. And some of that doing it is just completely changing your mind on what you think you could or should or want to do. Like if this was me in this position, I'd probably go get a teaching certificate and teach. I'd take a pay cut probably because teachers get crap in the States, but that's a really meaningful thing I've always wanted to do. I would love to teach. So I would probably do that. And then Kim would probably have to get another job to make ends meet. And things would have to, happen to make it all work. But that's what I see myself going through those 2 stages. Panic, freak out, and then, well, here we go.
And then just nose to the grindstone, just say, I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right now the thought of going back to work in an office and having to put on a button-up shirt and khakis and go to a cubicle every day just gives me complete, PTSD or something. But
something like it.
But I think I could do like Uber, Lyft. That would probably be my first step, is just doing.
Oh, you'd be a great Uber driver. You'd be so much fun.
I've actually even thought about doing that, just not needing to do it now, but I would still,
because you would just enjoy doing it. I think it would
give me,
yeah. You'd have music stuff planned. You'd have those ports in there. You'd give water.
Yeah, my buddy Chris Brown did it for a while, and he, like me, is a big trivia doofus, and so he'd be asking. It'd basically be cash cab without the cash when he's giving somebody a ride to the airport. He's like, "What #1 song features the lyric blah blah blah?"
Yeah, and you would gamify is what you would do.
I would absolutely. I'd Ellen DeGeneres up that business is what I would do. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, I would love to be your passenger, because that sounds like more fun than most of those drives. But
I'd have such a blast.
I don't know if that helps Wendy or not, but I think you get an idea of how we would do it. And I bet he's got this in him to just.
Well, and here's the thing. I remember having a 2-year-old child and thinking of, all of the world's on your shoulders to make everything work out. And I'm going to promise you right now, the best time ever to not worry about this, because that kid knows nothing. And diapers are an expense. I get it. But here's where shifting your story. So both of you are pretty creative types, right? So your brains could go to, this alternate reality that I've actually fantasized about before. And now I have a chance to do it.
Now I have a reason to do it. Yes.
Now
exactly.
I have an excuse, right? Or whatever. And it gives you maybe a move in that direction. And this guy maybe isn't that kind of brain, where he's seen it as it's this thing that moves forward, and it's step after step, and it feels comfortable. And so, maybe have a different mindset is not going to be so easy, but to really think about the story that you want to tell about your life. I think this is a thing we sort of, it's hard to do because we're kind of handed the stories, right? We're handed that we're supposed to be afraid of something, or we're told that we need to have all this stuff to feel secure.
Yeah.
And some of it's very, evolutionary biology. Like the more things we have that make us feel secure, the more secure we feel, but then it's an illusion anyway. It's tricky stuff, and it's all kind of handed to you. Maybe his own family's history has a role to play here. I notice he's quit jobs for being unethical. He also feels guilty about putting out any family at all for having this rough patch happen.
Right.
Yeah. So he's got some rigidity in how he views his role in the world. And this is maybe the universe knocking, saying, hey, I'm not sure you have it all right, and that you don't maybe have to do it the way you think you have to do it. And I don't know what that is, but the only way people can figure out what that is typically is either you hit rock bottom and then you have no choice but to, figure something out, or you take a little time. And I get what's happening is it's the panic. Go get the job, go do the thing, get the money. You can't let a second go by. So what I'm about to ask is going to sound insane, but to take a day, a half afternoon, I don't know, block out some time and really think about your story that you're telling yourself and write it down. And everything you're going to think is already true. That's the story I'm talking about. Yeah. Write it down. This is how life works. This is what a good person does or doesn't do. This is how my parents taught, you write all that down. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's the story that you tell yourself and reinforce. And then ask yourself, is this story serving me right now? Because it used to work, right? It used to work, literally the other day, I heard a person without children say out loud, the problem with the world is how parents are parenting.
Yeah. I always love hearing that. I love it when a guy who's never been a parent says that. It's the best.
And I said it very nicely, but I said, there's a few rules. Like one is you don't get to tell parents how to parent when you're not a parent. And the other rule is I don't get to tell you that you're selfish because you haven't had kids. Like, Can we disagree?
Yeah, no, that's the exchange. That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, absolutely.
Agreement, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we have an agreement here. And also, like, if you've never been poor, I don't want to hear your ideas about it. And if you've never been rich, fine, lucky you. We're not going to tell rich people. I don't know. I just have this can you please step in someone's shoes before you open your dang mouth? Okay, but this guy may have all this storyline built in the structure of his life. No one around him has ever broken any of these rules of how we're supposed to be and what kind of people we're, et cetera, that keep him stuck in the place that is creating this. This to me feels like, it feels awful, but it's like a gift. Until you can see it as a gift, it's going to be torture. And so take that time, take an afternoon, take whatever, write it all out. What is the story that I have reinforced my whole life that was given to me? How do I reinforce it? What are the kind of things I say to myself? And my attitude about particular things? And then take another afternoon and then write out alternate fantastical realities that could possibly be this door. So you're sort of stuck. And, the old saying, there's a window open somewhere. Like, what are other possibilities? What is another story that can be told? Like, in the end, we want the story you tell as an 80-year-old man. Oh, the best thing that ever happened was that horrible year and a half I had where I had 8 jobs and I lost them all because it led me to discover this other part of me that I just never could get oxygen.
Yeah.
And partly because the story was so strong and it kept me in a particular way of thinking.
Yeah.
So does that make any sense? This might sound a little
absolutely
ethereal.
makes sense. You know, you know what you do? I found a thread through almost every one of these things we've ever talked about. And I just realized it for the first time all these years in. You talk about a thing that I think is so important, and I always forget to do it, but when I do it, I'm so glad I remember to do it. It's this like one human freedom that you'll always have, even if you're in a concentration camp or even if you're being held against your will. You always have this one freedom left, and that is to just stop and think about a thing. You know what I mean? Like just not fill it with a distraction, not go, oh, okay, something's bubbling up. Let me go watch this episode of something to you know, so that I filled that time. Instead go, instead go, oh, I've got a minute here to just be to myself and to think this through and to be, you know, the word mindful gets used so much for so many different things, but to mindfully process what I'm thinking about. That's a real common thread through Thursdays, I think.
Well, and let me say this. I always tell people to go to therapy, not because I think that therapists have some magic answer for you. It's because the magic lies in there's another person hearing you tell your story out loud. And when you hear your story out loud, sometimes it's the only time you can actually hear what you're saying because there's someone else listening, right? And when we have people we talk to in our lives who don't really listen, or hijack whatever you're saying to make it about them, or, you know, like those relationships are complicated. So it's not just your freedom to process your thinking. That's the magic of therapy right there, is to do what I'm asking this guy to do on an afternoon by himself. Because when your thoughts get so distorted, if we took a survey of everyone in the chat room right now, how many of you hate the voice in your head sometimes because it tells you that you're not going to do good, that you're crazy for trying, that you're going to embarrass yourself, that there are bullies that live in our head, and they're not bullies. Actually, they are trying to save us.
Right.
And when they're trying to save us, they're trying to save us from anything good as well. They can't decipher. So it's don't do that thing. It's too scary, or you're not good enough for this, or who do you think you are? You know, raise your hand. How many of you have that voice? Everybody. And I hear you don't get to suicide thinking and all this anger and all this resentment. Anger is a thought. Anger is not created. Like right now, like I can make you angry easily. I can just give you a sentence to have you think about and you will be angry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I'm not going to, because my goal today is not to mention anyone that would make you angry. But I can't make you feel peaceful.
Right.
I can try with words. It's going to take more than a sentence. I mean, I can't make you feel calm. It's going to take some effort. You are the gatekeeper, but anger has this amazing, like it's a one sentence trick. And so I'm hearing his email and I'm thinking all this stuff has so much to do with how he is thinking. And if he doesn't, maybe there's voices in there that, you know, you're bad, you're terrible. And, you know, to survive them, you do particular things. But you're right. It is very much connected to that one place we have freedom. The last and only place.
It's the only place. And before
so many are terrified of that place. So many people feel abused and beat up in that place. And that's ultimately the magic of therapy, is to help train those voices to calm down.
Yeah.
And to have the real you emerge, because there is always a voice that will.
Yeah. The chat room's giving me a little heat for saying, even in a concentration camp. No, I'm being serious. Like, I don't remember the name of the author or the book, but it was impactful when I heard about it. But the story of a World War II concentration camp victim, and the difference between people who got hardly any food ever, get a single piece of bread, and they would just hoard it, or they would steal others, or they would never tell anyone they had it, or whatever. Or you could be the guy that took off a chunk, ate it, and then gave the rest to people who looked like they needed it more or were sicker than you were.
Right.
Like, that's what I'm talking about. There is a freedom left, and the freedom is, well, how are you going to process your own thoughts, and how are you going to act? And I'm not trying to say this from a pompous position. I'm not sure what I would be in that concentration camp. I worry about what my choices would be. I would hope that I would find a way to be like that guy, and not the guy who steals it or conks you over the head and takes your stuff, or, you know, survival of the fittest sort of attitude about it. And
You're referring to Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning.
there it is. That's the one.
If you have not read it, people go read it.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names, but it's that, and it's really good, and people should read it. That was the point I was trying to make. All right. Well, this is fantastic. I think we've sent him in a good direction, and I'm sure we'll get some feedback as to his feelings about it after hearing this, and hopefully something bright on the future for this listener. If you have any follow-up questions about it, just let us know. And if any of you out there are like, yeah, I got a question that's a lot like this, or I got my own issues, or whatever, we are happy to take them. And there's now an Ask Wendy section on the Discord, which you can also use. Now, I realize that puts you in a position of having to, be in front of your community and ask a question that might be hard. But these don't all have to be super personal questions. If you got a more general one, we'll take those there. We'll continue to take your emails at themorningstream@gmail.com. And Wendy sometimes gets them at therapythursdays.com as well. I think that's everything. Oh, Wendy Dunford on Twitter, right? Or sorry, Instagram, not the other thing. She's not on Twitter. Well, she is.
Twitter
but
is something else.
We don't remember it. Yeah.
Therapy Thursdays. No, that's the.
Is that the? See, we do it every time.
Pretty much,
I know.
you're going to be tweeting at some bar somewhere. So
yeah, if you do an ask, if you do the hashtag Ask Wendy on Twitter, that also works.
Yeah,
you just hashtag it, and the Wendy spelled with an I. For those listening at home and not looking at the chat room, but thank you, Jeannie, for putting it in there. Wendy, any final amazing thing you want to say before we let you go today?
Yeah, I had a cool experience. I'll just tell you about it.
Oh, very nice. All right.
So on Tuesday, my friend here is one of the directors of the Girls on the Run program. Do you guys know what that is?
No, I haven't heard of that.
It's awesome. It's a program where 3rd through 8th grade girls do like a 12-week training with these coaches or, just various, could be parents, but some, they're anyone who wants to volunteer to do it. And it teaches them all sorts of great skills, and they exercise. And by the end is this really fun 5K run where everyone dresses up and every girl has a running buddy with her, encouraging her the whole way. And they do this 5K at the end of it. But it's, the research on it is amazing. Like just the outcomes are fantastic. It's an awesome program. So on Tuesday, my friend runs this program here, and we had a fundraising event, and I volunteered to help out and just eat their food and help them with the things they need. Anyway, they had a speaker who was awesome, and I just would encourage you to, I don't know, Google her or try to be like her. Her name is Sarah Safari, Safari.
That's a great name.
That's a great
name. I know,
name.
it's great.
Yeah,
and she was born in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And has, lives in the United States. She's an electrical engineer. She's just like genius, and had this just inspiration to do something impossible. She was at a meeting or something. They were like, "What's impossible?" And she couldn't think of anything that was actually impossible. And someone said, "Climbing Everest, that's impossible." And she's like, "I've never camped. I've never owned hiking boots. I've never slept in a tent. I hate cold weather. Yeah, that's impossible." And it's her story of just becoming a mountain climber. Wow. and getting people to sponsor her climbs for, these Nepalese girls who need education, and, just a cool mission. Anyway, it's a really fascinating story. The craziest part, she was on the top of the 5 stories of ladders. You know how you have to climb over ladders over the crevices to get to the top of Everest. She's at the very, very top of that ladder on April 25th, 2015, when the earthquake hit.
Oh, wow.
So she's like 5 rungs from being on the top, and she's just swaying halfway. I mean, can you imagine?
That's insane, dude. Oh my gosh.
And so she couldn't summit because they had to get down, and they got rescued. And then she enters Kathmandu and just rubble. And anyway, her story is really cool, and how she does this around the world to help girls. And so all their inspirations, tend to be female athletes. Like there was a woman who was paralyzed and is an Olympic record Paralympic swimmer, and it's just amazing. So my inspiration for the day is go run with a 4th grade girl and support her, and join Girls on the Run wherever you are.
Yeah.
City.
Just
awesome
don't run after the
no,
don't.
No. Yeah, that's
that would
discourage these days.
Yeah. It feels like, I mean, we live in really new times here. Do not chase your 4th graders. That's a bad idea.
No.
But run with them. Hot damn. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that. Awesome stuff. Wendy, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye now.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye with an I.
Guaranteed today's thing helped somebody. I think that was
for sure.
important stuff for lots of people in lots of places. So, CD, who we're still calling you that, thank you for being so open with us with your question. All right. That's it. We're done with the show. Now, there should be a PM tomorrow, but I got to make sure. I don't know when we're leaving, so there's some confusion.
Okay.
So I got to talk to Kim. If there's not one, it's because we're doing the Mother's Day get out of town thing, and we'll make it up in some other way. Brian and I will live commentate an Overwatch match or something coming up soon. I don't know. We'll figure something else fun, but we'll do all of that. Is it off the calendar? Did I do that?
Yeah, it's not on your streaming calendar on Twitch. Does Kim have access to that? Did she delete it and say, you're not doing this tomorrow?
No, but it's entirely possible that she told me that once, and then I went, let me remove it now while I'm thinking about it, and then I forgot that I did it. That's 100.
Maybe that's the thing you dreamed, and you finally,
yeah,
you woke up in the middle of the night. Oh, I gotta write this down.
It could totally be that. Anyway, we'll let you guys know. Just pay attention to all the ways we let you know stuff, and we'll keep you informed. That's it. Let's get out of here. A real quick.
I might. Yeah,
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I might have a thing tomorrow, a Twitch stream. I had such a blast doing a Guess the Connection episode of Coverville last week that I might try and start doing those on the regular on Friday afternoons. Just a little half-hour show, 6 songs. What do they have in common?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it should be fun. And also, massive thanks to everybody who during the show has been donating. Let's see, I'm at $435, $65 more, and I get socks and early packet pickup for my bike ride.
The socks will be yours, Brian.
The socks will be mine.
They will be mine.
Tiny.cc/bike Coverville. So,
Mr. Bond. That's fantastic.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to bike.
What else? That's it, I think.
Plays? Frog Pants Plays?
Yeah. That's happening today. We will get a Frog Pants Plays in today, so check us out at noon. It's in about an hour an hour and 15. And then there will be today's Thursday? I don't know what the shit.
Today's Thursday, yes.
My brain hurts. Here's what you got to do, though. This show runs literally on the power of you. So if you've got a couple extra bucks and you want to throw it our way, head on over to patreon.com/TMS. That's patreon.com/TMS. We've kept it nice and cheap for those who, maybe between jobs or can't always afford to do, extravagant things. That's what we're here for. We're less than cable. We're less than Netflix subscriptions.
HBO Go.
Yeah, we're less than everything. So go take advantage of us at patreon.com/TMS.
Or if you choose, we can be more expensive than all those things.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
You can choose to do that. It's on you to do it.
Listen, when you're done with Game of Thrones and you're saying, I guess I don't need my HBO subscription, just move it over to us.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Yeah. Why not? We'd love that. That, again, is patreon.com/TMS. Everything else, frogpants.com/TMS, including show notes for old episodes. If you're looking for our email address or ways to find us on Twitter, our voicemail line, all that stuff, frogpants.com/TMS. Brian, take us out with a song.
Yes. Well, this is a great, kind of a great not follow up, but a great thing to hear after the Therapy Thursday today. Jeff wrote in, said, "Hi, Stats and Binomial." I'm Binomial. I want to make a request for a song around May 9th, 2019. After failing out of college, going back to earn my associate's degree, going to work full-time on third shift while earning my bachelor's degree online, getting a new job, going back to school and earning a master's degree in computer science and a post-baccalaureate certificate in business analytics.
Whoa.
I will be graduating with a second master's in applied statistics and decision analytics on May 10th. Whew. All debt-free thanks to educational benefits at work. That's awesome. None of this would have been possible without the support of my amazing wife. I want to make a request to celebrate getting to the end of my formal educational journey. I leave it in your capable hands to pick something that celebrates my accomplishment, but also recognizes that I wouldn't have been able to do it without the support of my wife. Love the stats, though. Signed, Jeff.
Nice. Love it.
Well,
congratulations, by the way. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
I was trying to find songs that 2 out of 3 ain't bad by Meatloaf is a statistics song, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's numerical. But I settled on this one. Now, again, I picked it because of the math aspect, and not because of this, to recognize the support of your wife, but this is just such a fun song. And this was originally a B-side to one of the Police's I want to say, what was the album? Synchronicity, I think. This was a B-side to one of the songs from Synchronicity, probably Every Breath You Take or something along those lines. And but it's covered here by jazz band The C-Nuts from their album Blitzkrieg Bop and Other Jazz Mutations. Here is their cover of Sting's or the Police's Murder by Numbers.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
I found a new buttery way to
That's awesome.
It's a little on the